You're watching Screenscope Reviews, where control doesn't start with walls. It starts with what people believe is waiting outside them. Today's update dives into Silo Season 3, and this chapter doesn't just question survival. It questions who defined survival in the first place. The season reportedly opens with a sound every resident has been conditioned to fear, the airlock unlocking. The hiss in the ceiling. The ritual they call cleaning. For generations, the rule has been absolute. Outside is poison. One breath equals death. One step beyond the door is extinction. But systems built on absolute truths rarely survive contact with evidence. Because cleaning was never just punishment. It was theater. Every exile stepped into the same lifeless landscape, gray skies, dead soil, no movement. And every time, the body collapsed. The message reinforced. The doctrine repeated. Obedience preserved. Season 3 begins by pulling directly at that illusion. What if those visuals were never raw reality? What if rebellion didn't fail because the outside was unlivable, but because reality itself was filtered before anyone could see it clearly? As deeper layers of restricted data begin surfacing, a more terrifying possibility emerges. The system doesn't just hide information. It shapes perception. The cafeteria screens may not show the world as it is. They may show the world as it needs to appear. Because hope destabilizes structure. Curiosity spreads faster than rebellion. And fear of the unknown beyond one sealed door governs behavior more efficiently than force ever could. Then comes the fracture that changes everything. The outside world might not be safe, but it might not be instantly fatal either. Fragmented environmental logs reveal inconsistencies. Toxicity spikes that fluctuate instead of remaining constant. Atmospheric readings that rise and fall rather than staying terminal. Data patterns that suggest simplification. Manipulation. Not to protect citizens, but to contain them. Psychological containment becomes the real weapon. If people believe the world is dead, they won't leave. If people believe survival is impossible, they won't question authority. If exile equals certain death, obedience becomes instinct. The silo stops being just a shelter. It becomes a curated version of reality. And now, the cracks are forming. Archived footage shows frame loops that repeat too perfectly. Corrupted files that didn't erase cleanly enough. Cleaning recordings with pattern echoes no natural environment would produce. Visual artifacts that don't align with telemetry data. Tiny inconsistencies, but enough to destabilize decades of certainty. Season 3 reportedly leans harder into psychological tension than physical escape. It's less about breaking the door open, and more about breaking the narrative that keeps it shut. Because once doubt enters a closed system, containment becomes impossible. The real threat isn't toxic air.